why should communicators put that extra effort into a more strategic approach to communications measurement?
I'll go ahead and take a first stab at that. I guess the very obvious answer is, if they are only looking at automation and only looking at counts and amounts, they will quickly make themselves irrelevant, right? If they are, and I think it goes back to what Eric was just talking about, setting measurable goals and objectives is such a critical piece, and it's not to be confused with communication goals and objectives and the tactics that are necessary to reach the overarching business objective, but to really look at every facet of the business, how communications can provide that lift and provide that value to an organization. So, they need to be looking at it from all of the aspects of, how does this affect our sales department? Are we giving them information? How does this affect our customer service? What data do we have? What messaging can we provide them that we know is now, clear? How does that then supplement some of their SEO efforts, making their overall end user experience simpler? And I think it goes to, I'll say, kind of understanding where they are within their own ecosystem, the value that they can bring, and how they can determine how they can support those goals and not get lost in the world of impressions. Because I don't think any CEO is saying, we want more impressions. He's saying, I want more customers. And unless you have that customer profile, and customer being a relative term to donors, to suppliers, providers, whatever the case, but unless you have a profile and you know where you're going to see those people, if you're reporting on something that had 3 billion impressions, but you can't walk out into the streets of New York City and have one person tell you they've ever heard about it, I think that's kind of that push and pull of this love affair with some big numbers, and the importance of really developing a relationship with smaller numbers that are targeted, that are valued, and that are consistent with what your organization is trying to accomplish. And over time, we all talk about SMART objectives, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. I've added 2 other things to that for communicators. One is ethical, and I think the ethics goes to the data that they're using as well. Being able to explain that, being able to model with that, and being able to replicate some of those results. And then the R is revolutionizing. Are your communications efforts revolutionizing your industry, your organization, what you're trying to do? Because if you're just relying on the old tried and true counts and amounts methods, they can't maintain that and still be relevant as a professional. I go back to your original question, is that they have to be pushing that needle in order to be adopting data-driven value and analysis within their own organization, so that they can see the real effectiveness in the investment of their communications.